There's a lot of people out there right now that are searching for or releasing videos and content on how to activate your third eye and how to manifest your desires and all of that hoo-ha. Now, if you haven't watched a lot of my other content before, you'll notice and you'll know that I have a very different opinion about a lot of different things. And they're controversial, and I don't care because it's the truth. If you're one of those people that are just searching and you clicked on this video because you want to open your third eye, your focus is wrong. Period. The end. You don't need to focus on opening your third eye. Your third eye will open on its own when the time is right and when it's necessary. And a lot of people think that opening your third eye is like this magical thing that all of a sudden you start creating and manifesting all these things in your life. And that's not true. The majority of people searching to open their third eye is nothing more than vanity, or because they're wanting to manifest material desires in the world. And so do you honestly believe that if you do all these techniques, right, and these different things to open up your third eye and all of that, and do you honestly believe that if your intentions are not pure, that you're going to get the results that you want? Now, a lot of people would say, well, but my intentions are pure. I want it so I can help the world, or I want this so I can do that, or blah, 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 blah. But it's not true. You know it's not true. Because if it was, then your focus would be to be the most loving human being on this planet. And let me tell you why that is a noble endeavor than trying to open your third eye and do all this crazy hoo-ha stuff so that you can get what you want. That's part of the problem in the first place. That's what's caused the world to look the way that it has, with all the imbalances and all the craziness and all the junk and crap that we all have and buy, and this consumer mindset, and I gotta have the biggest car, the biggest home, the biggest this. And then we wonder why our food is poisoned. We wonder why the environment is struggling and we've got climate change and all these other things happening. It's because we rape each other, we rape the planet, and the crazy things that people do. And the only thing that you're supposed to do is be the most unconditionally loving human being that you possibly can. And when you invoke that love into your life, the non-love will come out and you'll be able to heal and you'll be able to raise your vibration. Because as you raise your vibration, the lower vibrational stuff has to come out of you. And with that one process, your third eye will open when it needs to. Your heart chakra will open as it needs to. And all the other things, powers and abilities will naturally unfold as they are meant to. And because you're actually changing who you truly are and becoming who you were truly born to be, and so you're raising your vibration, you're accessing more of your divinity, and you're pulling in more of that love, more of your God self, your super conscious self into you, then it impacts every aspect of your life. And you'll manifest like you wouldn't even possibly even believe. But your emphasis on what you're going to want to manifest will completely change. Because manifestation, as it's taught in the world by a majority of the manifestation teachers, focuses a lot more on the material plane than it does on this. And it's usually the bare minimum that you have to do on this in order to get what you want. But why would you settle for a little thing? Why wouldn't you settle for your God self, your divinity, and the true power that impacts every aspect of creation and your life? Why would you limit yourself? Why would you spend all that energy on frivolous stuff? And the truth is, what a lot of people really don't know is that you're already a master manifester, number one. And number two is that a lot of the manifestation is placebo because you're already a master manifester. And if you can't manifest something that you truly want and desire, then you need to do the self-work. But why wouldn't you just do the self-work continuously rather than just do it just so that you can attain this one item or this one circumstance or this one situation in your life? Why wouldn't you just become all of it? Why wouldn't you just make everything that you could ever possibly want become part of your reality, but from a divine place? I don't know if what I am putting out there makes sense, but when you constrict your energies like that, especially onto frivolous stuff and stuff that really has no value and really won't actually make your life better and empower your life in any way, shape, or form, then you've lost. And what you've lost is everything that you could become and be inside of you. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of manifestation courses and programs out of there where the intention is good, but it's really coming still from that lower vibration, and it's still coming from that place of want and from need and from actually scarcity. Other words, what I'm saying is you will never be able to attain the heights of what you're looking to attain. Think of it this way. You ask any billionaire and any millionaire out there, like true billionaires and true millionaires, and you figure out and ask all of them how many of them sat and bought a manifestation course and did third eye manifesting type techniques to get to where they are right now. How many of them did that? You ask the greatest psychics and the greatest seers and the greatest spiritual masters that have walked on this planet. You ask them how many of them were doing third eye meditations and rubbing their third eye and doing all that sort of crazy hoo-ha stuff. Now, they all did techniques and tools. And yes, you can, as a part of your meditation, you should be clearing out your aura and your chakras, and you should be doing certain types of processes, but not for ego, not for want. You do it because it's the right thing to do for your body so that you can function optimally in this world and not be impacted by all the negative garbage that we're exposed to on a day-to-day basis. Now, I always say things that to the very extremes because to illustrate the points that I'm trying to make and that hopefully is being clearly communicated to those that are listening, because obviously I don't know who you are, what your intentions are, or anything like that. But I can tell you now that doing all this ridiculous third eye meditations and all of this sort of stuff is just really not the highest use of meditation. It's the reason why I released my perfect meditation framework to teach people how to meditate properly, because meditation is a communication tool. It's to establish and foster the relationship with yourself. It's to remove all the limitations and all the clutter and all the things that hold you back from realizing your true divine powers and gifts that you have on this planet. So when you just focus on the third eye stuff and you just focus on manifestation and all of those smaller techniques because you want to create the ultimate relationship in your life, or you just want to create the greatest career in your life and all of that, it's all well and good, but you're sort of limiting and constricting yourself. And if you're going to be utilizing your time, your precious time and your precious energy, then wouldn't you want it to be all-encompassing so you can have all of the above happen the quickest and fastest that it could possibly happen? And yes, you can obviously set your intention for certain things, but what you will realize is that asking for material things is not the highest use. I'm going to go back to the same thing. The material plane is the illusion. This is how you are entrapped and enslaved. Because as long as your focus is always on the material plane, then your focus isn't on what is real. And the irony is that the more that you clear this out, and the more that you establish that relationship, your outer reality will become more magical. It will become everything that it's supposed to be. And you will be guided on what you need to do and how you need to do it, rather than you trying to figure it out and scramble and use manifestation techniques so I can blah, 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 blah. You want to be doing the great work as your primary, and then within that, be focusing on the little bits and pieces that you need to or want to change or create or work on. But it's got to be from the inside out. And it's got to come from that place within you that knows you better than you know yourself. Your source. Because the source of you, however you want to label it, knows you better than you know yourself. Knows every circumstance and every situation that you're in and that you will be in and have been in. It knows the answer to any question that has ever existed. And it will draw to you what you need in order to facilitate you realizing your full potential. And that's the reason why I do the free reclaiming sessions. That's the reason why I have the instant breakthrough system program and my different coaching services and so forth, so that I can help you establish that. Because you see, this no one can take away from you. When you drop the fear, when you drop the anxiety, when you drop the stress, when you drop all the self-negatives and the conditioning and the programs that are running you, that's when you become superhuman. That's when you start tapping into your true power. And when you start experiencing that and having tastes of that in your meditations and in your practices, OMG. OMG. But you got to cut the crap. There's so much distraction out there right now because everyone's scrambling. And very, very, very few people realize the greater truth of what is. Because most people, honestly, they just read a few books, go to a few healers, and then they think that they know everything. That's why I walked away from the world in my late teens, and I traveled the world and trained with spiritual masters and shaman and healers and scientists and practitioners, and you name it, I have been involved in or worked in so many different fields, or researched or studied and, spent time with some of the greatest people on this planet. But that's irrelevant. The point is that I focused and made my healing a priority for the majority of my life, to get the answers necessary to be able to break free of this world that from a very young age I knew was corrupt, and I knew that there was something very, very off. And now we're seeing a lot of that starting to really play out as the technology has gotten to a certain level, as the powers that be have been able to usurp even more control and more influence on the world to the point of no return, as long as this financial system is still in place. But love is the key. Love is the answer. Love is the solution. Unconditional love. And if you're not doing whatever you can to raise your vibration and to work on yourself and to let all the non-love out of you and to process it through you and let go of those limitations. Because all belief systems are limitations. They're programs. And they were all introduced from external sources throughout your whole entire life. So most of us don't even realize, most of us have been so shut down from the greater truths and the greater reality, and the world perpetuates it, right? The world perpetuates it. But the time is now. Time is now. Go within. Connect with your true power. Connect with your higher self. Foster that relationship. Foster that implicit trust and be guided so that you can navigate this world with the greatest of ease, grace, and flow, and with the protection of forces that are way beyond this physical world. That's all I have to say about that.